I have the most greedy aunt. Guys, my father passed away. My mother passed away. And the only thing I was left was their Cartier necklace that my dad gave my mom when they met each other. It meant so much. And yes, it's very valuable, but it's not about the money. It's about the significance of it. So when I have a very big suspicion that my aunt stole it, I will not rest until I get that necklace back, any means necessary. I had no idea there existed a platform where you could just come and vent all your feelings. Well, technically, I never needed one. However, recently something really petty happened in my life that left me no option but to turn to a bunch of strangers online to lend me an ear. Hey guys, I'm Ava, 19. I'll be using pseudonames for me and all the others that I'll mention in the post for obvious security purposes. Well, the thing is, I belong to a very well-to-do family. And I say this in the most full modesty possible. Now you may be thinking, money must have never been a problem for me, and let me tell you that you're not wrong, and assuming so. I've been able to get whatever I want with the flick of my hand throughout my life. Despite that, the story that I'm about to share with you guys revolves around a necklace that has recently gone missing. Not just any necklace, but one of the most expensive Cartier necklaces. Made out of deep blue sapphires and diamonds, the necklace retails for like over $2 million. It's not that my family can't afford another one. It's just that this particular necklace has a very deep emotional significance, so let me explain. My mother. She passed away about 3 months ago. It was like my world had come to an end. Everything was falling apart, and it took me a while to get out of mourning. But then a week ago, I realized my mother wasn't the only thing missing from me. It was during the time when my mother's will was being read out that I noticed that her most prized possession, her Cartier necklace that she willed to me, was missing. The necklace wasn't just any piece of jewelry, oh no. It was an incredibly special piece because it was gifted from my dad to my mom, given to her just a week before father passed. Well, Mom has always said it was like having a piece of him with her, and she cherished it more than anything else. She wore it on special occasions and always made sure it was kept very, very safe. So when I couldn't exactly find it after her death, I was devastated. Of course, I made a huge fuss about it. My grandparents, my aunt, my cousin, everybody was annoyed at me for making a huge fuss over a necklace, but it was important for me. It acted like a memory of my father to my mom, and now it was supposed to be a remembrance of both my parents for me. Soon, everybody came around and understood what the necklace meant to me, and tried helping me look for it, or at least assured me that I would find it. The only person who did not come around was the one that I had a horrible suspicion about. Guys, even before I start looking for it, in my gut I knew my Aunt Lucy had something to do with it. Let me introduce you guys to my Aunt Lucy. She's 39. It's my father's youngest brother's wife. My uncle has been living abroad since my father died 2 years ago to take care of overseas branches. So all this while, it's been just my grandparents, my mother, me, and my aunt and her daughter Emily, who's 17. And let's just say that Aunt Lucy has always been a dark presence in our life. My mother was warm, loving, and always saw the best in people. Lucy, on the other hand, is cold, manipulative, and always seems to have an ulterior motive for everything she does. Growing up, I had countless memories of Lucy being cruel and mean. Not just to me, but especially to my mom. She had a way of belittling Mom, making her feel small and unworthy. It wasn't like she had any issues with my mom, no. She was like this just by nature. And oh gosh, her greed knew no boundaries. Let me also tell you something else about my aunt that my mother strictly forbid me to tell anyone. But I guess I'll tell you guys. So, you know, my mom was the daughter of my grandfather's business partner and best friend, and luckily my parents fell for each other and got married. My uncle, however, was not so lucky. Well, I know my mother would have told this tale in a different tune, but well, he got tricked into marrying my aunt. My aunt did not come from a rich background, which in itself is no big deal, or it shouldn't be, but I used to work part-time at a bar where my uncle visited once. He met her, and bam! 3 months later, she was at his door with a pregnancy report. Yeah, my mom told me this by mistakes. She slipped out the tongue, and later tried to cover it up, saying that it was my uncle's responsibility and they fell in love later. But I know for a fact that that greedy goblin knowingly yanked my uncle so she could marry rich. Lucy's greed was something I grew up with, witnessing firsthand. From the time I was a kid, she always seemed to be coveting that stuff. It wasn't hers. One of my earliest memories of her was at my 5th birthday party. Mother organized a small gathering with close family and friends. She baked a beautiful cake, and we had a table full of gifts. Lucy showed up with her daughter Emily, and from the moment she arrived, she began making these snide remarks about the party. However, when it came to time to open presents, she was sure to hover over me, making sure to comment on each and every gift, and when I opened up a beautiful porcelain doll from my grandparents, Lucy's eyes lit up with envy. She made a snide comment and suggested how Emily would love to have such a doll, and how I was being too big to play with dolls. My mother wanted to keep the peace. Let Emily play with the doll for the rest of the party. I remember feeling very upset, but not understanding why at the time. Looking back, it was just one of the many times Lucy had made a grab for something that was not hers. Another instance was when Father passed away. He had left behind a small but valuable collection of antique books, which were very dear to my mother. She kept them in a special cabinet in our living room. One day, when Mom was in the kitchen making tea, I saw Lucy rifling through the cabinet. She picked up one of the books, a rare first edition, and examined it with those greedy eyes, suggesting that she should sell some of them. Mom gently but firmly told her that she had no intention of selling Father's books. Lucy's expression darkened, and she didn't say anything more, but I could tell that she was not happy with Mom's response. Lucy's greed was not limited to objects. She also tried to take control of financial matters. After Father's death, Lucy frequently offered unsolicited advice about how Mom should handle our finances. She suggested that Mother sign over power of attorney to her so she could, quote, help manage things. Thankfully, Mom never trusted her enough to take her up on the offer, but the fact that Lucy would even suggest such a thing showed how little respect she had for Mom's ability to take care of us. And of course, there's the Cartier necklace. As I guess I mentioned earlier, it was a gift from Dad to Mom, given just a week before he passed. Mom treasured it more than anything in the world. I remember one family gathering when Mom wore the necklace. Lucy could not take her eyes off it. She kept making comments about how beautiful it was, and how lucky Mom was to have such a piece of work. At one point, she even suggested that Mom should keep it in a safe place, because it's too valuable to wear. But her eyes, the eyes never lied, Chico. Her eyes betrayed her true feelings. She wanted that necklace for herself. Mom, as always, politely deflected Lucy's comments, but I could see the unease in her eyes. She knew, as I did, that Lucy was coveting the necklace. As the years went by, Lucy's interest in the necklace grew. Every time she saw Mother wearing it, she would make a point commenting on its beauty and value. It became routine whenever there was a family event or gathering. You know, sister, if you ever need a part with that necklace, I'll watch after it. You can think of me first. That's what Lucy would say, half-jokingly, but with a gleam in her eye that made it clear she was serious. Mom always handled it with grace, just smiling and changing the subject immediately. But it was clear that she was after that necklace. So naturally, now that it was suddenly gone missing, she was my first suspect, and honestly the only suspect. Before any of you ask, of course I went to confront her. The thought of her having it made my blood boil. I could barely sleep the night before, my mind racing with all the things I wanted to say to her. The next morning, I decided to go confront her. I had to know the truth, even if it meant facing her venomous attitude head-on. When I arrived, Lucy was in her living room, sipping tea as if she had not a care in the world. Her calmness, for some reason, only fueled my anger. I took a deep breath, trying to keep my emotions in check, and told her that I knew that she had the necklace. I explained how important it was to me, how it was the last gift from my father to my mom, and how much it meant to our family. I was just hoping that, appealing to her sense of decency, if she had any left, it might make her reconsider just once. Well, Lucy listened to me with a blank expression, and when I finished, she denied having the necklace. She said that she had no idea where it could be and acted as if she was hurt by my accusations. Her words were smooth, but there was something in her eyes that made me uneasy. It was a look of smug satisfaction, a look that said she knew more than she was letting on. I tried to press her, mentioning how she had always eyed the necklace at family gatherings, and how she had made countless comments about its beauty and value. But she just shrugged. I could feel my frustration growing, and I knew she had it. I could sense it. But she wasn't going to admit it. Instead, she began to talk about how sometimes things just disappear, and how I should make peace with it. Her tone was so condescending, as if we were, being talked to as if I was a child who had lost a toy. The way she spoke made it crystal clear that she enjoyed seeing me struggle. She loved having the upper hand and knowing there was nothing that I could do about it. She starts to imply that even if she did know where the necklace was, it would never find its way back to me. She suggested that maybe it was better off lost, that maybe some things are meant to be out of reach. I lost my control and started shouting at her. I guess that's what she wanted all along. Because the moment my grandparents entered the room, hearing my loud voice, her tone changed. She started acting all innocent and like a victim, sympathizing with me and explaining how she did not know where the necklace was. Well, guys, at first I was shocked, but the moment I saw my grandmother, I understood it all. It was her plan all along, and in the end, my grandmother gently yet firmly told me that though she understood my pain, she would not tolerate me pointing fingers at family members. I'm so mad right now, I don't know what to do. I know she has it, but how do I prove it? Guys, I'm begging for a bit of advice. What's up, everybody? Mr. Reddito here. Man, today's story is wild. I have a feeling she has the necklace too, and I just hope OP gets her, because she deserves it. I mean, who steals from OP who lost both of her parents? That is absolutely ridiculous. If you guys are enjoying today's story, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Here's the first update, and let's see what's going on with OP. Damn, this platform is truly as good as they say. I honestly did not expect this much engagement on my post in such a short time. It's been about 2 weeks since I first posted, and oh my, the comment section is full. It was genuine kindness, support, and advice. Well, apart from a few comments that called me an entitled rich kid for crying over a necklace where there are people dying of hunger. Yeah, I know, I expected this. And honestly, these comments are technically not even the worst. They're not even worth mentioning that I'm providing them in the post. Anyways, listen, I have something huge to tell you guys. Long story short, I found the necklace. Was it with Lucy? Yes. Do I have it now? No. Has Lucy been thrown out of the house? Not yet, but soon I will, and I'll make sure of it. Let me resume from where I left off. After the humiliating rebuke from Lucy, I was more determined than ever to uncover the truth about my mother's missing Cartier. At first, I thought the amount of fuss I've already made over the necklace meant that there was no way she could wear it out in public. But what if she had sold it? I would not put it past her to do something like this for a little bit of money. So I knew firsthand that I had to dig into Lucy's activities and finances. As I mentioned earlier, my mother used to look after all the finances. So it was easy peasy for me to access the expense sheet and transaction report of each and every family member. I started by looking into her recent spending habits and found some inconsistencies. There were large, unexplained withdrawals and extravagant purchases that did not add up. Honestly, I was scared. What if that woman had really sold it? Would I be able to retrieve it? I spent hours combing through the records, financial statements, and anything else I could get my hands on. It wasn't easy, but I knew I had to hurry up before the necklace was long gone. In my hunt to find any clue regarding it, I realized how deeply Lucy's deceit ran. She had been embezzling money from the family business for years, siphoning funds into her little accounts, and using the money to buy luxury items, per usual. Then one afternoon, I got the break I needed. I overheard Lucy talking on the phone, mentioning a trip that she was going on. It was the perfect opportunity to search her house, without her knowing, of course. Once inside, I combed through the room, checking every drawer and closet, and finally in her walk-in closet, I found a hidden safe behind a row of shoes. My pulse quickened as I realized I was close to finding what I was looking for. Cracking the safe wasn't such a big task. The woman loved no one but herself. Naturally, the code was, of course, her birthday. Dumb woman. Inside, I found not only the Cartier, but also several other stolen family heirlooms. It was a treasure trove of items that had mysteriously gone missing over the years. My eyes shined at the amount of evidence I had against Lucy. However, just as I was about to leave with the evidence, I heard a noise behind me. I turned and saw Emily, Lucy's daughter, standing right there in the doorway, and she looked shocked and scared. I was caught, red-handed, and I knew I had to think fast. Emily and I had never been particularly close, but I knew that she was not like her mom. She wasn't greedy, she wasn't deceitful, but a huge scaredy cat. So I knew that there was still a chance to turn this situation to my advantage. Emily demanded to know what I was doing. I explained everything. I showed her the stolen items, including the necklace I told her about, and all of Lucy's embezzlement. Emily's face turned pale as she realized the extent of her mother's deceit. She was horrified, but also conflicted between loyalty to her mom and the truth. I knew I needed Emily's help, but she was threatening to tell everyone what I did. I mean, it wasn't like I was scared or something. The necklace I was looking for was right there, along with a bunch of other important stuff that she had stolen. So even if she had called everyone, it would have only worked in my favor. But in the moment, it felt like letting Lucy off easy. I wanted to make her pay, you know? So I came up with an idea. Now, before I continue, let me tell you a little fact about my family. My grandparents, though very amazing, have very conventional thinking in my family. Women are allowed to date. Any sort of relationship before marriage was strictly forbidden. Our grandparents were especially strict about this, and any hint of behavior that, according to them, could bring shame to the family name would lead to disownment and the loss of inheritance. Yeah, crazy, I know. However, just 2 months ago, I found explicit evidence about Emily's secret. She's dating a man, and not just any man, a man 12 years older than her, including photos and love letters, and at the time I had not done anything with the information because I was too busy mourning my mom. But now it seemed like the perfect leverage. So I took a deep breath and told Emily that I had no choice but to use what I knew against her. I told her about the letters, and I showed everything, the photos on my phone, and I could see the panic in her eyes. She begged me not to tell anybody. Knowing what it would mean for her, it was a desperate situation. But I needed her to help me bring Lucy's crime to light. I told Emily if she helped me, I would keep her secret safe. Frightened and feeling trapped, she reluctantly agreed. She knew that she had absolutely no other choice. So, well, now I know where the necklace is. Even though I've left it there temporarily, I have a rough idea about Lucy's crime and her daughter. Ah, well, this is going to be fun, don't you think? I'll update you when I find some more info. Update number 2. Hello everyone, it's been a week since I last updated, and it's been a colorful one. Let me get into it. With Emily's help, I started digging even deeper into Lucy's past and her shady activities. It was not easy. Lucy had always been careful to cover her tracks. But with Emily's access to certain documents and accounts, we were able to piece together a more complete picture of Lucy's deceit. One of these first things we discovered was that Lucy had been embezzling money from the family business for years. It wasn't just a few large withdrawals here and there. It was a systematic siphoning of funds that's been going on for about a decade. She had set up multiple secret accounts, moving money around left and right to small amounts just to avoid detection. The scale of her betrayal left me and her daughter dumbstruck. I knew that she loved money, but I did not expect her to be so selfish and greedy. Anyways, as we dug further, we uncovered something even more shocking. Something that was worth all this hassle. Lucy had a criminal past under a different name. Years ago, before she married into the family, she's been involved in various fraud schemes, and had even served time in prison. She had changed her name and created a few identities to escape her past and start fresh, marrying into our family as part of her new life, obviously. The realization that Lucy had been living a double life all these years was pretty chilling. I know it was so much better than I could have hoped to uncover myself. During our search, Lucy grew suspicious of me. She was getting more and more paranoid by the second, watching me closely and making subtle cutting remarks whenever we crossed paths. She even went so far as to try to turn the family against me. She would spread these rumors and lies amongst her relatives and extended family, suggesting that I was unhinged and still grieving in a way that was causing me to lash out irrationally. She painted herself as the concerned innocent aunt, being unfairly accused of a distraught niece out of her mind. Her manipulation had some effect. A few family members began to distance themselves from me, unsure of what to believe, and to make matters worse, Lucy started sending anonymous threats. They were subtle at first, menacing notes slipped under my door late into the night, and phone calls where nobody would speak. I would just hear breathing. I guess she wanted to scare me, to make me doubt myself and back down, which was a good thing. Why? Because it meant that she had no idea what was about to hit her. Emily, despite her reluctance, continued to support me. She was still struggling with the reality of her mother's true identity, and the fear of her own secrets being exposed. It kept her on edge. I sometimes pitied the girl, but I had to do what I had to do. So together, we compiled all the evidence we have gathered, financial records, proof of Lucy's embezzlement, and documents upon documents linking her to her criminal past. I now have everything I need. All that's left to do is uncover her face in front of everyone. I'll update you guys as soon as her greedy butt is out of my house. Update number 3. Hello guys, I know, it's been 6 months since I've last updated. I'm sorry I could not update sooner. I was just so busy with Lucy's trials and everything that I could not find any time to write. Yes, she's going through legal trials. She's finally got what she deserved, but let's not ruin the fun. Let me start from the beginning. So last time I updated, I'd already found out the evidence against Lucy, showing records of her embezzlement to the family business, proof of her criminal past under a different name, and of course the fact that she stole the Cartier necklace and other family heirlooms. It was now time to uncover the truth in front of everyone. I did something risque, knowing well enough that it would infuriate my grandparents and that they would, the whole thing could backfire on me, but I did it. I called the police. Naturally, my grandparents were shocked, and though they did not verbalize it, they were infuriated at me. I wasted no time and directly told them that I had found my mother's necklace. They were shocked, but my grandmother still asked me what the police needed to be here for. So I told her that my mother's necklace was not the only thing I found. One by one, I presented every bit of evidence we collected, explaining in great detail Lucy and how she's been siphoning money from the business for years, and that she stole the necklace that meant so much to my mom and me. Emily, believe it or not, testified too. She had to. She had no choice, but her testimony was what was so powerful. She spoke about her mom's criminal activities that she witnessed and things that she had seen firsthand. It was clear that Emily was deeply conflicted, torn between supporting her mom and lying to save her, or doing what was right. But under pressure, she revealed everything, detail by detail, how Lucy had manipulated and deceived everyone around her. As Emily and I revealed everything, Lucy stood rigid in the corner, pale as if she had just seen a ghost. After a while, she tried to play the victim, but the weight of the evidence against her was overwhelming. Her attempts to discredit me and turn the family against me, it fell apart, more and more as the lies were revealed. The family finally saw her for who she is, a deceitful, greedy woman who had betrayed us all. There's this one comment that got a lot of criticism that I want you guys to read. It says this: Ava, honestly, your story feels a bit self-centered and over the top. Dragging your family through such public drama and legal trials, it seems extreme, girl. Especially considering the emotional toll it must have taken on everybody. Yep, especially Emily. Yeah, Lucy was wrong, but calling the police and creating such a scene feels like an attention-seeking move. You should have just grabbed the Cartier necklace when you found it in her closet and ran. Am I right? You could have handled things more privately and still achieved the same outcome. Guys, do you agree with that? Do you think when she found all the heirlooms and the necklace, she should have just took a picture, took it all, and got the heck out of there, but she let revenge cloud her judgment? Do you agree with that comment or not? Drop it down below. Guys, thank you for joining me today. I hope to see you tomorrow. My name's Mr. Reddito. Hit that subscribe button, and until then, so long, and of course remember, It's cool to be kind. Peace.